Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about episode 3 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. A really crazy episode. I think after watching this one, it's pretty easy to say that this is the best one of the three. I really was not expecting so many aspects to this. Like, I thought I had a lot of it figured out in terms of, the CRM storyline and where they were going. They opened up a lot of doors here in terms of the way the CRM operates. A lot of where the story could go. Like, this was such a big episode for that. And Beale, honestly, there's certain things with the character that I'm so fascinated in, especially with where the story is going now. Like, I don't know where this is going for episode 5 and 6, but I kind of get what the early reviews are saying now. Like, how is this ending in 3 more episodes? There is no way, especially with where we know episode 4 is going. I have so many questions, but let's just talk about episode 3 here, because this one was so phenomenal. So obviously, before we go any further, obviously, please be aware that this video will contain spoilers for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live episode 3. Again, really phenomenal episode, just absolutely mind-blowing. I was not expecting that ending to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen like that. And also, if you are new here, definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I'm going to have a lot of content coming out today. I'm going to be doing an episode 4 trailer breakdown, so that will be out very soon. I'll do a video tonight talking about the ending, and then I'll probably do another one talking about certain scenes in this episode, because there's a lot to talk about here. So the episode begins, and there's sort of like different timelines here, just for a very short amount of time, but it actually opens up with Jadis not really knowing a lot about the CRM. Like, she was allowed in because she gave them Rick, and I'm guessing that was because of Okafor, right? Okafor actually allowed that to happen because obviously Okafor wanted Rick to survive, and that just ended up being overall very valuable to the CRM. Major General Beale doesn't necessarily trust Rick yet, though at the end of the episode, or near the end, Pearl Thorne did mention that he wants to promote Rick Grimes, and obviously we know how it ends, and so there's a lot there. Like, I just feel like, yeah, again, I don't know where this show is gonna go, and we don't have to talk about, if there's a season 2, this and that, but like, because episode 4 is focused on Rick and Michonne farther away, and it looks like it's going to be just about them that entire episode, I don't know where Beale comes back into the whole story here, because it seems like Jadis is going to be after them in episode 5, and then, I mean, Beale really seems like, like the next time he's really going to play a big role here is in the finale. So like, yeah, there's a lot. Like, they really did they set up so much stuff here, because Jadis isn't, and that's the one thing I'll say. I'm really happy with how they overall set up the CRM, and that it's not like this place where everything is run a certain way. Like, a lot of people are making these deals here and there, and it's not all just like one thing. It's not all just like, this is the way it works and whatever. It's like, certain people will know certain things. They don't want to tell other people because that could be, that could mean this or that. And I really like that aspect to it, because Jadis knows certain things that she doesn't want to tell other people. Pearl Thorne knows certain things about Michonne, or Dana, as she was going by in this episode, right? But she doesn't want to let Beale know. Like, I like the fact that it is run that way, that it's not so like how the CRM was before, which obviously we were more seeing it from, being a survivor out in the world. Like, they didn't want you to know anything, this and that. But I like the fact that the CRM is much more like this. I like the drama of this. It's so good. It's honestly, it's so good. And again, Jadis and Rick, they work together. It's really interesting. Like, Jadis, she seems to have a very high ranking, in the CRM, but I'm not entirely sure of her position in all of this here. Like, she seems to be more of a leader, but it's not in the sense of, the military side to it. It seems like she's not like there or anything, right? And it's really interesting because Jadis and Pearl Thorne, I mean, I really wonder where they're going to go now in terms of, what happened with Rick here, because obviously Rick is gone, right? And we know what's going to happen now. And I will say Michonne is causing a lot of stuff. And it's honestly, it's inspirational, because we know how there's no way to fight back against the CRM, and Rick is just trying to tell her that, but she will not listen. And man, what she does, like, I do agree with Andrew Lincoln. He talked about it in the episode Insider. After the episode, he was like, it was probably one of the best endings to an episode ever that he's ever done. I honestly almost agree with that, because I'm trying to think of a moment that was just more insane. And I don't know. Like, honestly, I was so shocked by that. I was not expecting Rick and Michonne to just jump out of a helicopter like that. Like, again, Rick wasn't expecting that. It seems like Michonne was going to do that, and Rick just jumped with her, which, I mean, says a lot about them, right? Rick was never letting her go by herself. So what I will say about Rick and Pearl Thorne is that they are really amazing friends. And we see that in the very beginning here. Like, Pearl Thorne is, like, actually very concerned about Rick. Like, she thought that Rick died. Like, she's actually very, very worried about him. But there is something to the character now where I'm starting to see that she is becoming the villain. Like, I was kind of, you know, I didn't know where they were going to go in episode 1 and whatnot. But it seems like at this point now, she really, like, she likes the life that she has right now. And I will say after this episode, I don't trust her anymore. I really don't, because she was trying to take out Michonne there in that scene. I really do not trust her anymore, because she had sort of that moment where she was like, I could just take her out right now and I don't have to deal with this anymore. And there's all these things where it's like, Michonne is not listening, this and that. I need to keep things in order. I don't want to lose what I have, right? And it seems like a lot of people deal with that. Now, the one thing that we do learn is that Pearl Thorne actually helped Michonne get into the CRM. And that's something that I figured, or not that I figured happened, because I honestly didn't know, but that is something that makes a lot of sense, because Michonne just being allowed in the CRM is something that is like, what? That makes no sense. It almost feels like it's a little too, I guess maybe convenient. I don't know. But the fact that they explained it away very fast in this episode, where they were like, you know, Rick went to go and talk to Pearl Thorne really quick about, you know, just, I guess, letting her in. And that was the whole thing of this episode. Like, you don't really get to live here unless you have somebody that's helping you inside the CRM, right? Like, someone basically gets to decide whether or not you get to live or not in this place. And that is just the way everything is run here. And it's very, very fascinating, just because, I mean, yeah, obviously Rick Grimes is only alive because of Okafor. Michonne's only alive now because of Pearl Thorne, and also kind of because of Rick Grimes, which he's only really alive because of Jadis, right? So there's a lot there. Like, and also Michonne in this episode, she tried to reach out to Judith a lot, and a lot of it was kind of just like, you know, you had this dialogue over just kind of, you know, Michonne didn't really have, I will say, a lot of dialogue in this episode. Like, I mean, a lot of it was really like, you know, for her, she's just like, she's staying quiet, but she's trying to reach out to Judith, and she's wondering what is going on with Rick. And also she kind of understands what's going on, but like, she's just kind of like, what's going on in this place? Because there's obviously a reason why he can't go. But there's also a part to her that's wondering, like, he seems to really believe that they just have to stay here now, right? So that part there, I think, for Michonne is very, very concerning, because like, now she has to be concerned that Rick does not want to leave. And man, there are moments here between Rick and Michonne that I honestly, it hurt me. Like, it actually hurt me watching it. I was like, I can't believe he said those things. Like, I didn't think they were ever going to go here with the story. It's honestly, it's really incredible. And it sets up the ending so, so well. Major General Beale, I will say, is just absolutely insane of a character. I don't mean insane in just like a crazy way or anything like that. I just mean like, he's such a good character. He really is such a good character. And it's like his demeanor. It must be Terry O'Quinn, right? Like, it's just the performance from him where it's like, there is so much behind the character. Like, he's very like you can tell he's from the military, and just the way he operates everything here, it's crazy that he's the leader of all of this here, and he has so much respect from everybody throughout, you know, all the entirety of the CRM. And like, that scene with Okafor's funeral, which I did think was the scene, was actually really cool. Like, the fact that he told the whole story about the sword and everything, and how important that is to him. I mean, that's his weapon, right? Like, Negan has Lucille, Rick Grimes has his python, and Major General Beale has his sword. And I will say there was a really cool moment in this episode with Michonne and her katana, but we'll get into that in a second. Okafor was a big part of the story here in episode 3, and I really liked that, because again, he was such a phenomenal character in episode 1, and he was very memorable that a lot of people, you know, obviously after he was gone, we're still talking about him. Like, you know, he's such a good character, this and that, I still want him to be around or whatever. And like, the fact that he's still playing a role in the story, I think is just absolutely just amazing. And we learn here that Beale actually promoted Thorne. So Pearl Thorne now is a commander sergeant, I believe is the title that she was given. So really just insane. And she mentions that Beale is now wondering about Michonne. So this whole thing here, like, this is pretty much the last that we really saw of Beale in this whole episode. But the fact that he is now wondering about Michonne is scary, and especially considering where the episodes are going now, you know, and the fact that Major General Beale was going to promote Rick Grimes to a commander sergeant instead of just being a sergeant, that that is honestly, like, he was already very like, you know, I don't know who Rick is, this and that, I'm really unsure about you and whatever. And now after all of this, he's going to be very, very like, I don't know what he's planning on doing now. And so what I really liked in this episode was that, you know, they really set it up like Rick was actually going to escape with Michonne. And I was very curious about this. Like, as it was happening, I was like, okay, I guess he's going to try and escape. And I just kind of accepted it as that's what he was trying to do. I was genuinely shocked when Rick tried to like, or Michonne, like when she read the note that said that you need to leave, like, just leave me here, I can't escape this and that, like, you need to go. Like, I was shocked by that. I was not expecting Rick to do that. Like, in this episode, he kept trying to get her to leave constantly. Like, you need to leave, you cannot be here. And at one point he actually says like, it's over. Like, he basically tries to break up with her. He tries to like break her heart, and it's like insane. Like, I was not expecting moments like that to happen, but it just really shows, you know, how much Rick is trying to protect her and how much Rick is really trying to get her to leave. Like, you need to go, I cannot leave this place. If I go, Alexandria is done. Like, I don't think Michonne really understands that yet. Like, she kind of got it a little bit even by the end of the episode, but it looks like in episode 4 Rick is really gonna, you know, say that a lot. And honestly, episode 3 set up episode 4 so well, because there is so much just like Rick and Michonne right now are not on good terms. Like, they're very much in a place where I think Michonne's really upset with him right now, to be honest. Like, I think she's just like, really, you're trying to send me away? And like, you know, I went through all of this just to be here with you, this and that, and just the whole thing there. Like, I'm so excited for episode 4 where they're gonna talk about everything. Also, the music when Michonne got her katana back, that was like really cool. I laughed when I saw that. Also, the line "people are a resource" came up, which is really cool. Obviously, it's a reference to like season 7 or season 8, which was really cool. Just hearing that line, I was like, man, it was just cool to have Rick and Jadis together. And again, they really are like working together. Like, it's not something where Jadis, I always thought Jadis was like so high up in the CRM, and maybe she is sort of overall, but she is still working with Rick and all of that. So there's a lot of like just cool aspects of that. And yeah, obviously Rick says you're a hero with you know, whatever kind of haircut. And I laughed at that. I laughed. I was not expecting him to just call her out like that. Like, no one's really said that. I don't think anyone has ever said anything about Jadis's haircuts. I've never heard anyone say, like, fans, obviously people have talked about Jadis sort of throughout the years, but no one has said it on the show. I don't think there's ever been a character that has just said that to Jadis in that way. So when I heard that, I laughed. Like, I actually laughed. We also did get a Carl Grimes reference, which was really cool. Michonne talked I guess to that guy that obviously said believe a little bit longer, and Michonne was so happy to have met that guy. And honestly, like, that whole scene there was amazing. Like, again, the Carl Grimes mention, that was just really cool. And just all of it, like, it was so cool just to see that scene. Like, it really made me just like, you know what, this is what Rick is trying to do, and this is who he is overall. And I think, I mean, obviously, like, she doesn't know a lot of what Rick's been up to the last however many years, right? But she's learning through, you know, moments like this, you know, that he was trying. He didn't just give up, this and that. He's tried a lot, and there's a reason why he's staying where he's staying now, and he's saying what he's saying, right? So, really amazing moment. The whole scene where Pearl Thorne was questioning Michonne, Pearl Thorne's mission and all that afterwards as well. Michonne obviously helping out and all that too. Like, I didn't expect any of that to happen in this episode. And again, I don't trust Pearl Thorne really at all. I don't trust her around Michonne or Rick at all. And I just think that, yeah, she is just, again, at this point now, I don't even see her as like Rick's friend anymore. I just see her as she's a villain now. Like, you cannot trust her at all. Doesn't matter what she says to Rick about this and that. You know, the fact that also Rick escaped at the end, that's gonna be like honestly really insane. I do not like Pearl Thorne at this point now is definitely very dangerous, and I don't see her giving up what she has in order to help Rick in any way. I think if that happened at some point at the end here in episode 5 or 6, I'd be kind of shocked. The Rick and Michonne killing Walker scene was really incredible. Him just saying let's go or whatever, and they're killing walkers. Like, that was just kind of cool, because it was like, it obviously brought you back to, you know, back on The Walking Dead when they would do that a lot. And it was just a really incredible scene, really incredible. The music as well. It just like knew that moment was special. And I was just so happy watching that scene. But yeah, then we get the final scenes where Rick basically tells Michonne, you know, I belong here, you don't, it's over. And basically you know, he tries to break up with Michonne, I guess. He's trying to just basically be like, no, we're done. What we had is broken. Everything is completely done. You need to leave. I am here now, right? Like, he's trying his hardest to get her to go. And I think she can see that. I think she sees right through him and is just like, I know what you're trying to do. And I think that's why the final moment happened. But before we talk about that, Michonne saw Jadis, and she never really got to like react to a lot of that. Like, she was like, Jadis? What? Jadis? And Rick's like, doesn't matter. You know? So I think in episode 4, he's going to explain a lot to her, and that's going to be a lot of fun, where he's like, yeah, you know, she brought me here, this and that. So I'm excited about that, because they're going to really talk about everything. But I mean, just that reaction, it was kind of cool. Like, Michonne saw Jadis for the first time in a very, very long time, right? So yeah, really incredible scene. But yeah, they're on a helicopter, they're going back or whatever, and they escape. And the reason why they escaped is, I'm assuming Michonne, or maybe Rick, like maybe they have a parachute or something like that. I'm assuming that Michonne, maybe she was planning that. I'm not entirely sure. But Michonne, you know, she opens up the helicopter door and she jumps out. And Rick, obviously, as it's happening, he's like, what's going on, kind of thing, right? And so he just jumps with her. And you know, judging based off of the episode 4 trailer, I don't think he knew that she was planning that. It didn't really seem like it. It kind of seemed like that was more of a reaction that he just kind of had to the moment of like, no, like, what are you doing, kind of thing. And he jumped with her, right? Which is just like, it just shows how much obviously he cares about her and everything. And like, again, just really, really phenomenal moment. And I feel like Michonne knew that that was going to happen, right? And it's insane. I mean, where does it go now? Where does the story go now? It's going to be, oh man, I'm so just, I'm so excited for episode 4. This episode, honestly, I was so surprised by how much, you know, happened in it. And a lot happened in it, but also a lot didn't happen. If you think about it, like, they were there and you kind of explored some of the main story elements with Michonne and all of that, but really it just kind of ended with them escaping. But they gave us so much information in here. And that's the one thing that I'm just so happy about, is how much they set up with the CRM, how amazing Beale is as a character, and we still don't really know a lot about him. You know, we're halfway through this series or first season, and he's supposed to be the main villain, and it doesn't really seem like he's the main villain right now. So, and judging by episode 4 is focused just on Rick and Michonne, it seems like where they're going here, again, I don't see them being able to escape in any way. So I really feel like where they're going here in the finale, they're going to decide to fight back. It seems like that's probably going to be where they're going here. They're going to decide to fight back against the CRM, and then, yeah, just where do they go at that point, right? So I was not expecting this episode to be this good. I almost have to like lower my ratings for the other episodes now. And again, this is why I don't rate the episodes. I don't really like to anyways, because like, you know, I rated the first episode 9.5 out of 10 or something like that. I think the second episode would be an 8.5, 8.5, or maybe 9, I don't know, around there. But like, this one here, to me, based off those ratings, would be a 10 out of 10. And honestly, I would say it's really high up there, but I almost feel like I have to lower the other episodes now, because this one was just phenomenal, and apparently episode 4 is so much better. So yeah, episode 3, really phenomenal episode. Again, there's gonna be so much to break down throughout this week, so definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. There is a lot. Like, there's so much to talk about. Literally, like, there's so much here. So yeah, definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Post all your thoughts down below in episode 3, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.